Believe it or not, we still get people going out without life jackets.
From speeding jet skis to unnamed boats and vessels in the wrong place at the wrong time, the Tauranga Harbourmaster sees it all. Local Focus spent a day out on the water as part of a No Excuses Day, Maritime New Zealand's summer campaign to reinforce safety by issuing breaches regardless of the excuse.
This year we've had a lot of people buying jet skis and the new boat owners, and they haven't necessarily had the education or experience. They just go straight out on the water. Jet skis, a lot of out there haven't been registered yet. A lot of boats out there that haven't got boat names, again, which is a breach.
Before long, we'd spotted our first alleged offender.
We were on the patrol near Punipuni at the southern end of Matakana, and we saw a white powerboat clearly towing a biscuit. From our observations, it was in excess of 15 knots and within 200 metres of the shoreline. 3 children on the biscuit, and it was just him on the boat. Basically explained to him that we'd seen him exceeding 15 knots, and also that he didn't have an observer. Because when you're towing, skiing or dragging a biscuit, it's very important that you have an observer on the boat in case anyone falls off. So he admitted straight away, yes, he knew he should have had an observer. We also noticed he had no boat name, and that's one of our bylaws for operating within Tauranga here. We then explained to him about the speed limits and that you've got to be 200 metres offshore to exceed 5 knots.
A common offence is speeding within the 5-knot zone, less than 200 metres from shore.
A lot of people, it's quite hard for them to determine what 200 metres is. So it's kind of educating people of what they can do, and passing within 50 metres of another vessel, they've got to slow down, and moored boats.
Right, is everybody holding on?
The Harbourmaster also has to make sure shipping lanes are kept clear, especially when there's a container ship coming.
We had a young lad on a wind-powered craft, and we noticed him suddenly tack at the last minute, and he was heading out straight into the commercial shipping lane in front of the vessel. So we had to act pretty promptly and tell him that he had to get out of the shipping lane, because people don't realise those large ships and vessels move very quickly. The captain or the pilot, he has a blind spot that can reach for 500 metres, so he's not necessarily aware of them actually being in front of him.
A common response to being pulled over is to point out that they're not the only ones breaking the rules.
We just dealt with the guy in the boat, and as we finished with him, he pointed out a jet ski to us and said, what about him? It's quite often busy periods, like we'll be talking to someone and there'll be other people breaching in front of us, but we can only deal with one person at a time. So we went over, we approached the jet skier. The jet ski had no registration number. It's a breach of bylaw, but we give them 14 days to get the jet ski numbers on there.
I have to give you this notice. It is a breach of bylaw. This information goes to the Harbourmaster and they do review the footage, but by giving you this one here, you've got 14 days, okay, to have those stickers received and put onto your jet ski.
But there's still one violation that beggars belief.
Believe it or not, we still get people going out without life jackets. So we've had a few of those, especially on paddle boards and taking children out. If we find people without life jackets, they do get breached because it's very serious, but we hand out life jackets to them, which are given to us through Burns Co. And then they return those to Burns Co. once they get back to the land.
Maritime New Zealand says around 20 boaties a year lose their lives. A lack of life jackets and adequate communications on board are major factors to these deaths. And with more people than ever out on the water, the need to stick to the rules has never been so important. Gavin Ogden, Local Focus.